Hey everyone, it's Kathy, and welcome back here to my craft room and my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin'. Many of you already know I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm located here in North Carolina. And if you remember the last video that you saw, I made this beautiful card using the painted lavender and the perennial postage stamp and die set, and it all came from that beautiful suite called Perennial Lavender. And it was a gorgeous card. I love the way it turned out. Well, I'm recording this on Sunday. Tomorrow is January the 8th, and it's my husband's birthday. So earlier today, I decided to make a birthday card for him, and I wanted to use the same fold. But I thought, you see a fold like this and you think it looks so feminine. How could I change that up? Well, I'm going to show you how. And this is the card that I came up with. The very same fold, but it's a masculine card. How cute is that? And look at this. And this was mostly done using the paper. Very little was done with the stamp set. And let me show you exactly what I used. The Trusty Tools stamp set is this one right here, and it comes with this beautiful set of dies. But right now, let me show you where that's at in our new mini catalog, because this is one of our new items, and it is located on this page right here. Isn't that cute? And it shows some other things, and you can actually make a toolbox out of the dies. And I haven't done that yet, but stay tuned. That's what I say. Stay tuned, because that will be coming. This is such a cute set. And we all struggle with masculine cards. I'm no different. I always have a hard time when it's time to make a masculine card for someone. So I lent myself to this set. But in our celebration catalog, there's also a pack of paper, and it's right here on page 11, and it is called the Trusty Toolbox. And that pack of paper is lovely. It pairs so well with the stamp and die set because you can cut images out of it with the dies. And this is the pack of paper. Let me turn it around the right way. And you can see that I've done quite a bit of cutting out of this paper because I did. I cut out some of the tools and some of the items that was out of it. And I thought, why not come to y'all and show you how I did this in case you pick this up? Or say you just need a good set for masculine cards. This pack of paper, you could get it for free if you purchase the stamp and dies, I believe. Let me make sure that I'm quoting myself correctly with that. I want to say that it is because it was a set of dies, and there we go. Yeah. For every $50 that you spend, you can receive a free item out of the catalog. So if you purchase the stamp and dies, you would automatically be able to earn that pack of paper for free. And I think the celebration is one of my most favorite times of Stampin' Up's campaigns that they do, because who doesn't love a freebie? We all love to get something for free. And this is one of the few times that Stampin' Up allows us to do that. So let's go ahead and get started. And I thought what would be fun, since I didn't show, this card was so, there was so many different working parts to it, didn't take y'all through the entire process of making it. But I thought this might be a good time to do that because I think this one's going to go much faster. So we're just going to grab our trimmer, and I chose Real Red for my cardstock. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut it on the 8.5-inch side at 5.5. So just bring it over to 5.5 and cut that piece off. Lay this to the side, and we'll do our scoring in a bit. Then you're going to take this piece, because what you have left is exactly 3 inches. And that's what we need this to be. We need a piece that's 3 by 6. So I'm going to line that up all the way over to here. Whoops. And I just took my trimmer apart. Let's see if I can pop it back together. That was a first. That's the first time that's ever happened. Okay. And we got it back together. So, I'm gonna line that up all the way against this lip, gives me 6 inches, so it makes it really easy to cut a 6-inch piece. So that's my second piece, and we'll need to score that too. Then I need one more piece off of this, and this is a 3 by 3. So just cut this again at 3 inches. And this is all the parts you need of your card and all the waste you have, and that's not a wasted strip. That's a nice little piece that you could use for a sentiment, so that'll go back into my scraps. The next thing that we need to cut are the pieces that we want to decorate our card with. And since I've already kind of gone through this and I know what I did the first time, it makes it real easy for me to replicate it and be able to redo this. So I'm just going to grab this piece of paper, and I need 2 strips of this that are 1.5. I want to make sure that I'm right. What did I do with my template? Yeah, 1.5 by 5.25. So 1.5, and I'm going to line it up just like that. And I can get both of the 5.25 off of this one strip because it's 12 inches. So I'm going to put that in right there at 5 1/4 and cut it. And we're going to do one more, 5 1/4, and cut it. Now we need to decide what we're going to do for the rest of it. And for the other one, I did those little screwdrivers. I thought they were really cute, and it just kind of broke up that pattern. So we're going to do the same thing again. So I'm going to grab my screwdriver piece, and I'm going to do the same thing that I just did. I'm going to cut a strip that's 1.5. 1.5. And I'm just going to go ahead and tuck these back in here because I don't need those anymore. That's the rest of the designer series paper. And then I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to cut it at 5 1/4. So just 2 more pieces, just like we just did. And one more at 5 1/4. And we have that little piece left over. So then I'm going to need 3 pieces of this that is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So I'm going to cut 2 3/4 down one side, and then I'm going to turn it in the opposite direction and bring it to 2 3/4. That gives me 1. 2 3/4. This gives me 2, and then 2 3/4 again, and that gives me 3. Now we're going to do some embossing on 2 of those. On 2 of those, I'm going to bring in no, I need the big one for this. I'm sorry. I forget that I need to use my big one when I'm embossing because the little one won't take the embossing folder that I'm going to use. And I'm going to use the metal plate 3D embossing folder. And I am going to grab my number 1 plate and my number 4 plate. And I'm going to take 2 of these 2 3/4 inch squares, and I'm going to lay those in to my embossing folder, just like this. I'm going to lay one there, and I'm going to lay the other one right over top of it. And the reason I'm lining them up like that, I want them to be nice and straight. And then I'm going to lay that on top of there, put my number 4 plate on top, and then I'm going to crank that through to emboss those. Now I'm done with the big one. We will use the smaller one for our die cutting because the dies will all work in the smaller machine. That's why I always say if you can only afford one stamping, cut and emboss machine, get the bigger one because it does everything and you won't be limited, but you are limited with the small one. But I do love the small one for my desk, and I have a free one that I'm going to be giving away. It's brand new in the box. When I reach 5,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away one of these, a little stamp and cut and emboss machine, complete with all the plates and everything. So be on the lookout for that. And as soon as I reach 5,000, I will make an announcement, a YouTube video, and announce exactly what we're going to be doing. Oh, before we die cut, let's grab our scoreboard because we're going to do some scoring. And I had someone ask me, one of my subscribers, who's also a friend of mine, asked me if I had any trouble with my cardstock splitting. Well, I noticed today that I was having a little bit of issues with it splitting. I want to suggest to try two things. One is if you're using this scoreboard and you have this stylus, use the one with the larger ball end rather than the small one. It doesn't cut into the paper quite as bad. Try that, and also score on both sides of your paper, and I'll show you what I'm talking about as we do this. So this one needs to be scored at 1 and 3/4. So let's go to 1 and 3/4 right here, and I'm going to get right in there, and I'm going down slowly, and I'm going to go over it twice, and then 3.5, 3.5. And then also 5 and 1/4 and 7 inches. Now turn that over. If you have any trouble with your splitting, turn it over and then score it on that side as well. So come in at 1 and 3/4, 3.5, 5.25, and 7. Oops, I jumped off the track on that one. And I'm going to try to rub that out. Sometimes you can rub out with your bone folder if you get into off of the track like that. So let's take our bone folder and see if we can kind of iron that out a little bit. I think it'll be fine. Plus, I'm going to be putting designer series paper over it, so I don't think it's going to show. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold this up and crease as you go. Give it a good crease. And then we're going to go in this direction and crease it. And then like this and crease it. And then one more time in this direction and give that a crease. Now you can see there is our fold. That simple, that easy. Oh, I needed to do one more, and I forgot about my little piece. My 6x3 needs to be scored right in half at 3 inches. So put it in on the 6-inch side and score it. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm using the larger of my ball end of the stylus, and I'm going to score that at 3. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to score it again at 3. And that will help keep your paper from splitting or cracking. I think cracking is the proper word. Okay, so now we have this done. Let's go ahead and burnish this as well. We've already scored it. So let's give it a good burnish. And this is going to actually go into our card backwards. It's going to go in like this to give us this fold. Here's the fold. So you can see how this is going to sit in just like that. And I think it's always good to be able to see exactly how something is going to come together. But before we do that, let's go ahead and put our mats on. And I do need one more piece of paper, and that is this piece right here. We need a piece of this that is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. So let me grab my trusty little trimmer again. And 3 3/4. And this should be 5 1/4. And it is off just a hair. So we are going to just slice off that little extra, just like that. And now we're ready to put our mats all in. So I'm going to start with the larger one first, and I'm going to use Stampin' Seal because it's quicker. And I have it right here. You can, by all means, you can use liquid glue or whatever you have. But I thought this would make everything go a little bit quicker. And when I'm doing a video, I try not to let my videos go on for, hour on end. I want them to progress fairly quickly so y'all don't get bored with me. So, and I've been told that sometimes, long videos are hard to watch. But the good thing about a recorded video, you can stop it and come back to it or whatever. So anyway, I'm going to drop that in just like that and give it a press. Isn't that pretty? That's just, it's so masculine, but I love it. So now we have these 4 strips and we're going to alternate them. So we're going to do the yellow, the yellow, and then the red. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the same way, just like I did. I'm going to go ahead and glue each one of those in. So I'm going to speed it up so you don't have to watch me do this. Okay, so now that we've got all of our pieces glued in, we are ready to decide how we're going to do this. So with this one right here, we could just glue this down in the middle. We're going to use that one that we did not emboss that's going to mat over top of that. And we really do want to center that in before we go any further. But let's go ahead and do some die cutting first. The items that we want to die cut that's going to go on top of that. And again, that's going to come from this paper. And we could do something a little different. We could do different tools if we wanted to. Let me look at the dies and let's decide if we want to do something a little bit different. This would be really super cute and that will cut out. I love it when the dies will cut from the paper. I think it makes it so neat. We could also do the little tape would be cute as can be. So let's take that one out and we're going to do both of these. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut around these and I'm going to use my larger scissors. These are my Tim Holtz scissors. And if you're interested in getting a pair of these, I have them listed on my online Amazon store under my craft ring favorites. So just in case you're interested, I wanted to let you know where you can find those. So I'm going to come up like that. And I'm going to cut around. I'm going to save that hammer if I can. I think I'm going to go ahead and get that pencil too. And let's cut down the side. That way I have that piece. I can just die cut what I need from it. So all right. So I'm going to bring that little Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, the little mini. I love this one because it fits so well on my desk when I'm videoing. So, and if you have a small area to craft in, and many of us do, the small one might be just the ticket of what you need to fit in your craft room or on your craft table. So, we all have different needs and what have you. So I'm just going to take and line that up on there just like that. And I'm going to use one of my little Post-it flags and put over top of it, like right there, just like that. And then I'm going to take this and sit it down over top of that. Maybe I need to cut that off. Yep, I think we're going to need to cut this because it looks like it's going to come too close. So let's just cut that off like that. And I'm going to go ahead and run this one through and maybe even this one. And then we'll come back and do the other piece. So I'm going to line that up on there. Again, I'm going to grab another one of my little Post-it flags. I love those for holding my flat cut pieces in place. And I'm going to put that down right about like that. And I'm scattering that plate forward a bit. It really does make your die cuts go through a lot easier on the smaller machine. The small machine doesn't have the weight that the large one has. So sometimes it needs a little extra help. And scattering my plate, like you see how I have that top one over top? It does help it to cut through much better. So this one is done. So there is that piece. Is that not stinking cute? I love that. I love the way it looks. I love the fact that we were able to cut it from the paper so we didn't have to stamp and color. Although there are times that I absolutely love to stamp and color, but this makes such a nice fast card. So I'm going to lay those pieces over there, and I'm going to grab that one other piece, the little pencil, this one right here. And I'm going to lay that over top of this, something like that. And I'm going to lay that down on top of it. Try to get that nice and straight as you can, because it is a tiny piece. And then I'm going to put that over top of it and grab my little cover plate. Oops. And we're going to put that, stagger it is the right word, stagger it forward. And I'm going to bring this back up, and we're going to crank it through. I think I'm done with that for right now. So you can see even start to finish, this card can go fairly quickly. It's not like it's a really hard process or anything. It's just depends on how much decorating you want to do on it. And the one that I did with the lavender, I did go kind of overboard with all of the lavender pieces and everything, but I love the way it turned out, and I'm hoping that y'all did too. So we are going to come over now, and I am going to look at my small piece, and remember what I said. One of these is going to go here, and one's going to go on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead, and for this, I'm going to use my liquid glue. The reason I like to use liquid glue when on pieces that I have dry embossed, because you've got all of that texture, and I like that glue to get down into the nooks and crannies, and you just make sure that it gives me a nice adhesion. So once I get that on, I'm going to press it down. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to do the other piece the same way. Something like that. And then we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to just even it up. Be very conscious of your borders, top, bottom, and side. And now that that's on, we are good to go ahead and figure out what we want to put where. Now I did something a little bit different, so I might have to I might grab something else for this. I know this is going to go about here. We're going to need to stamp something on here, but I think I'm going to need to die cut one more thing. So let's grab that paper again. And I believe I want to do I think I'm going to grab this little ditty right here, I think. Or do I want to do something a little different? Decisions. Why don't we do the hammer? That way I can just cut off a tiny piece right here. And I think that will be sufficient. I'm being stingy with my paper, y'all. You know, even though it's a free tap, I still got some more things I want to do with this and show y'all. So I am being a little bit stingy with my paper. So let's go ahead and grab the hammer. Oops. I'm throwing all kinds of stuff off of here. And we are going to lay this down like so. And again, I'm going to put that over it just to hold it in place. And let's grab our little mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And we need our same plate system again. With this one, it's a number 1 and then 2 number 2 plates. The sandwich is a little bit different on the mini machine than it is the larger one. And we're going to stagger and crank it through. Okay, so cute. I love that. I think it's adorable. So, most guys want you to think that their cards are adorable, but we won't tell anybody. All right, this is going to go to the front. And I think what I'm going to do is maybe have one piece here and maybe this one here. Or maybe like this. Because we're going to put a sentiment across this as well. And then on the other one, we'll do this and this. I think that'd be sufficient. All right, let's grab the dies and put everything back together so we don't lose any of our dies. And let's go ahead, and I think for this I'm going to use liquid glue to put these down with. So I'm just going to run some here and down here. Something like that. And we'll anchor that right there. And this one, we'll just put it down the other direction. Like I said, we're going to cut a small sentiment strip for our little greeting. That's good. And this will make a great Father's Day card. And there are some Happy Father's Day. Thank you, Dad. You're the most awesome. There's some other little ditties in there that would be perfect to put on a card like this. So I'm going to turn that over. And then this time I'm going to put this here. And let's put this right here. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put some liquid glue on the back of this. And set that right there on the bottom. And then we're going to take this piece and just run a nice little bead down like that. And run it across like this. And now we can bring this part of our card in. We still need to decide what we're going to stamp. But we can go ahead and put this piece in. So I'm going to put some glue on, well, maybe I'll just go ahead and use Stampin' Seal. And I'm going to put a piece across the middle, the bottom, and the top. Just like that. And I'm looking to kind of get that even, the same amount top and bottom, side to side. And once I'm pleased with that, I'm going to put it down. And I think that's going to work really good because now we have that perimeter where we know that we need to cover this. So this is what I was talking about. When you get ready to put this down, you want to make sure that you are covering this piece that's in the back that I just glued down. And the best way to do that is just to hold it like that. Once you get it over top of it and everything is lined up like you want it, open this up and then just run some glue along there and then fold that over without moving anything. Once you fold that over, you're going to just hold it for a little bit, make sure that everything has set up on it. Then you can open it this way, fold it out, and do the same thing. Just take and run some glue, just like that. And hold it in place, and then set that down like that. And just give it a press. And then when you close that up, you're going to see it covers up the piece that's underneath. So all we got left to do now is some stamping and the sentiment on the front. So let's go ahead and see what we're going to do next. We're going to need a little piece of our smoky slate, and this is the piece that we're actually going to stamp. And I am going to do You're the Most Awesome. And I think I'm going to do this one a little bit different. I think I'm going to put this here, like so. And let's put that at the bottom. So let's come up to the top just a little bit and then put Dad right there. I like that. So I'm going to use a bigger block because I like to pick up a little bit off. I don't like to pick them up directly straight because when I get ready to stamp, I'm looking at the edge of my block, and sometimes it causes me to stamp crooked. So actually, you know what? I'm going to stamp the other one first because I want to do it in two colors. I want to do red and then black. So I'm going to grab my roll red. Go ahead and ink that up. And I'm going up to the top, somewhat up to the top, and stamp. Beautiful. And then I'm going to pick this one up, and I want to stamp that in black. So I'm going to grab my VersaFine Onyx Black. If you have a glass mat, be careful about putting your stamps down on it like I just did, because you can sometimes get them where you cannot get them to come back up. They really want to stick to it. So, all right, and so then I'm going to put right here, and I'm just going to hold that down and let that ink really transfer because I'm going from a very bold font, and I want to make sure that it's covered really good. I might have wished I'd used a stamping platform, but the VersaFine ink is a pigment ink, so it usually does stamp darker. Perfect. I love it. So now all we have to do is open this back up, and we can center this right in the middle of that. And I'm going to do it with some liquid glue. Just like that. Give that a press. And now we're going to take this little ditty, and I am going to pull out the one that says Happy Father's Day. And I'm going to stamp that right about here. And again, see what I do? I put them at an angle. It just helps me when I get ready to stamp to be able to stamp it. And try that. It might work for you and it may not. You know, all of us are different. We all stamp different. But that is something that has really helped me be able to line up things a lot better. So I'm going to line that right about here. This one, it really doesn't matter because I am going to cut this and make it a very simple strip. Love it. This is my favorite ink for sentiments. I love it. It doesn't work well for some things. I'm going to use my big scissors again, and I'm going to go right up underneath there and go across. And then I'm going to go at an angle, and I'm going to go at an angle. And then I'm going to cut straight across the top, just like that. And that's going to be our sentiment. And I think it's going to be really cute right there across the middle. What do y'all think? I love that. And I'm going to pop that up on some mini dimensionals. So let me grab my little bitty ones and maybe even my take your pick tool. And I'm just going to set two, oops, three, I think 4 on this will be sufficient. And 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull off our backers. And then we can come right across here and set that down just like that. And look how quick and easy. And if you don't have a place to write on this card, you can always put a panel on the back. That's what I did with this one, and it works great like that. So here are the 2 different ones that I did, and I thought they both turned out very, very pretty, very masculine, and something, like I said, we struggle with. But you'll have to leave me a comment and let me know which one you like the best. And like I said, it was so easy because the paper did the work for us. So I thought that this one turned out, I used the little nuts and bolts on this one, whereas I just did the word here. So I think they both turned out just absolutely precious. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you are interested in purchasing any of the supplies that you saw me use today, there's a link to my online store below the video. Also, if you go to my blog, there's a link for my blog post. Everything is on my blog. Pictures of the project, an instruction PDF tutorial that gives pictures, sometimes diagrams, and everything that you'll need to be able to make this card just like I did. You'll also have numbers for all of the items I use. So the order numbers makes it so easy. When you go to my site, you can just plug in the numbers. The item will come right up and you can put it in your cart. So if you have any problems and you need to reach out to me, I'm always here to help. So you can text me. The number is my cell phone. Give me a call or shoot me an email. And if you need me to call you back, just leave me your name and your number, and I'll be more than glad to reach back out to you. So I just want to take the opportunity to thank everybody for all of your love and concern and your prayers. I am feeling better. I had the bout with COVID over the holidays, and I was really, really sick, already dealing with the lupus and all that is incurs with that. I am feeling better. I still find myself wore out by the end of the day, but I am able to function throughout the day somewhat. I am still taking the hydroxychloroquine, which is a medication for the lupus, and I go back and see my doctor the middle of the month. So we shall see then how everything is going, and hopefully my blood levels are showing an improvement. So thanks for the prayers. Thanks for all of the support, for all your patience. And I do hope to be back live on Fridays again before too much longer. So God bless and keep you. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is worthy. So until next time, take care and bye-bye.